Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And just a moment while we go live on Instagram as well. Awesome. So, welcome everyone to today's session. And today we're going to be talking about how to use AI to accelerate business growth. Of course, I've brought in an expert to speak with us talk with us and discuss this topic. So, right here, I have uh, Dr. G. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Linda, for having me here. I am Jie, and I'm the founder and CEO of My Powerful Life, and I help immigrant entrepreneurs to building thrive business by leveraging AI to increase the growth and embracing a founder's mindset.
Mm, that's awesome. Okay, so of course, we are going to learn more about your brand. But once we do that, we're going to go into, discussing this topic just for the person that is watching right now. We have lots of questions from, common misconceptions to tools that someone can utilize, to using AI beyond content creation. What are the, innovative ways that entrepreneurs can use AI right now to accelerate growth in their business. And of course, you will have the opportunity to ask question. So if you have a question during this session, just drop it as a comment. Towards the end of this discussion, I'm going to look at the comments and pick some from there and ask her directly as well. So we appreciate if you have questions. Well, let's dive into it. Could you tell me more about your brand? Like, what kind of service do you offer?
Yeah, so I offer business coaching and AI strategy to help your business and to so we will personalize the AI strategy to the business rather than have like thing uh one one thing fit all tools to do it so that you can use the AI to make it more adapted to your own business. And also I also help you to understand how you can already how you can leverage your current uh, account. For example, if you have already a ChatGPT or cloud account, so how you can actually maximize that. So that's what the discussion come from, like how you can use it beyond just creating content.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. What kind of entrepreneurs do you work with?
So I work mainly with the entrepreneurs that in the first couple years of business or the thinking of a ways to start. So that is I find it's very critical to find a way to test their ideas, especially when into this market you can bring that idea much faster with AI.
I see your point. So, people who are founding a business, early stage entrepreneurs. Uh, well, okay, but if somebody have already started a business, for example, let's say they are not just at the beginning of their business, can they still leverage AI to accelerate growth in their business?
Yeah, definitely. There are ways to leverage it. There are definitely so when your business growing, there probably are different challenges. So if you have already multiple people, you probably have um, you want to have a collective vision and how you can actually leverage AI in for the sake you want to have a clear growth trajectory rather than just say, hey, we are in the AI thing, we are all in AI, and we are kind of like have this buzzword attached to our business, right? You really want to think about how you can bring your what is the ROI when you want to have a new technology. So
I see your point. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's talk more about what inspired you to start teaching entrepreneurs how to integrate AI into their business. What's that backstory? How did you come up with that idea?
yeah, so I've been working with AI startups since 10 years ago. So when I first started, I didn't have any idea about AI either. And at that time, the AI was not this smart as today. So I've been seeing a lot of struggle about convincing other people to other. We were a SaaS company, so convincing our clients to take on the initiative and trust the startup to have something and trust that people a machine can actually make decisions instead of human. And so I saw struggles, and I have to be honest, I didn't think about starting my own business until 2 years ago, and then that. But once, and actually, I had a gap in my career. So, but it actually coincides with the ChatGPT's growth, and also the different ways of growing of the kind of like the AI, the booms of the AI, right?
Yes.
So that's the it actually gave me a lot of free time to explore. And also when I started to think about my own business ideas, I start to leverage them to understand the market, to write business plans, to do do my day-to-day planning. And then I realized that this is something that a lot of people, a lot of new entrepreneurs need. And I, with my background and with my experience, I can actually find ways to make it more useful for myself. And I'm thinking, okay, this is something that we really need to um, get all the entrepreneurs in it, rather than only have it for the content. And we can talk about how we can leverage it for business planning, how we can leverage to understand whether to have different business scenarios in today's world.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So let's go to uh actually, okay, there was something I noticed from your background. I noticed that you have this like product management background, because that's really for me, I think that background has also helped with you, being able to work with different businesses and think of how they can use AI, because product management also has something to do with maybe if you're coming up with a product and how does that align with your business legacy and stuff like that, right? Like, so I feel
Mhm.
like that would have helped with you in terms of coming up, working with entrepreneurs who want to start their own products, because starting a business, last you have a product that you're offering, right? So
Yeah.
if you're working with them, using AI to see how that product or how that business is going to do well, I think that your background may have played a good role. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I think another something that I noticed is when I work as a product manager, I would take on the tasks as like calculating the ROIs, and figure out whether this particular feature of this particular product line will increase the company's revenue. But I was still like protected. Even a startup, we didn't have many people, but you don't have this kind of it's still very different from when you are using this with your own business, and when you
Mm,
want to really understand whether your time should be put in this, or should put it into a different as into a different line product line. So that's
mm,
completely different. That's one of the things that I've noticed, that I my own experience becoming an entrepreneur really helped me to understand, some of my boss's decision. Right back then, I didn't really understand, but now I was like, okay, looking back, I understand why they did certain things or didn't do certain things.
I see. It's okay. What are the common misconceptions entrepreneurs have about using AI in their business?
Mm,
Common
uh,
misconceptions.
common misconceptions.
Hmm.
I think one thing I hear many people ask is, how can I make it more authentic to my own business? And so it feels like when you ask AI some questions, and it always gives you very similar ideas. When you go through people's posts, and after a while you're like, okay, this person's definitely using AI. And so, and then they kind of like stop trying. Some people stop trying or think that it's just a kind of a searching tool, but this is actually something you can work with, and you can prompt it to make it more authentic, to make it more adapted to your own business.
Mm. Okay, what I hear from you there is that some people have this misconception that AI give everybody the same thing. And you are saying that that's a misconception because there is how you can work with AI to get something that is authentic to you. So that when you post it, it's not looking like what any other person would have posted out there. For example, using content creation, for example. I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Um, is there any other misconception?
Yeah, so another one that I feel is people saying that AI is taking away creativity. Yeah, so this is and then they kind of like, okay, so if I want to be creative, I'm going to be brainstorming with my on my own, or brainstorming with with other people, with friends. I think that's definitely, we don't want to take out the human touch, right? You want to have people in your corner, you want to have a community, you want to have have mentors, and also entrepreneurs that in your stage, that you can bounce ideas around. But when you use AI, uh, when you find ways to make it more creative, to make it your sounding board, to make it your partner, you can actually have more ideas if you understand the framework, that how you ask AI questions, or how you bring informations to it.
Hmm. I get your point. Yeah, that you can bring your creativity to AI instead
Yeah,
of feeling like, oh, AI is going to take away your creativity.
yeah,
I
definitely.
see. Okay. Is there any other misconceptions you want to talk about, or should I move on to the next question?
Yeah, there. Well, we can. Let's move on to the next question.
Okay, sure. Okay. Let's look at um the mindsets that entrepreneurs should adopt, right,
Mm.
to be able to leverage AI effectively. What kind of mindset?
I think the most important mindset is to have a curiosity of the technology and how it can help you. So I can give you an example. So recently I had a post at Idea Miss Saga. So I was actually thinking like, hey, what should what should I bring, and how many flyers I should make? And I was like, okay, so let me try it with ChatGPT. And I'm saying, okay, so this is the event, and this is the introduction of the event, and the audience of the event would be those kind of people. And my main goal after the event would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do I any ideas from your side that I can implement in the next week? So that's basically what asked, and then it gave me and then it read through the input that I gave it, and then it kind of like conditioned it correctly to understand who I am, and who who are the audience, and also the you know what is the boost for, and then give me a pretty good ideas. And then I was asking it like, okay, so if I only have 1 week, what should I do? What are the top priorities that I should start? And then you can start a kind of like being this is what I mean when I talk about sounding board, or I talk about a brainstorming partner. So
Mhm.
you can really have this back and forth dialogues for a while, rather than stopping at like a couple questions after. And then you can be like, okay, so let's explore the idea 5. I really like the idea 5, but I don't, this is quite, it's not 100% what I want, but it's like it's in the right direction. So
Mm.
you can be like, okay, so it will give me some similar ideas.
Mhm.
You can basically just kind of thinking it as a really as a assistant, or as a very smart employee. And then the more you talk, and the more you yourself will have more ideas, and the more it will learn from how you think. and what your goal is, and then the more that it can give you more ideas and help you more.
Mm, I see. So what I got from you there is, having that mindset of curiosity, right? To be able to uh like to say, oh, what can my AI do for me concerning this challenge or this thing I want to get done, So having that curiosity is important. Okay. I've heard you mention algorithmic mindset. Could you tell us more about what that is?
Yeah. So that is so when you think about AI, this is it is a black box, right? So we don't know what's in it. And so the current systems, when we think about the models that we use, which is called large language model, so it is trained with everything on the internet up
Mm,
until today, right? And then when they train, it actually learns a lot of different pieces from the internet, and it learns about the recent. It also learned how to draw beautiful pictures. It also learned how to understand pictures, and so it's kind of like a black box. So what we want to the most effective way we can use it is to kind of like figure out which part of its memory, right? Its memory can be most helpful for us. So for this, we need to have a very clear understanding of our own goal. So when I talk about algorithm thinking, what I really mean is we want to have a structured way of thinking when we want to get to a certain point. So if we only ask very generic questions, for example, if I say I want to start a pet top business, I want to, and what are some ideas I can get to start this business? So it will give me very generic ideas. But if I maybe think better and say, hey, I want to start this business. I have this much starting fund. I want to get to, I want to be mainly working with online customers. I want to mainly working with offline customers. So if you have certain ideas and if you can structure it a little bit better, then it will prompt the AI to give you a much structured suggestions so that you can have better ideas to work with.
mm. I see. So I understand what you mean now by algorithmic mindset. Like, uh thinking of the information you are feeding the AI, instead of looking at it like I just say one thing and AI just knows what is in my mind,
Mm,
but to
yeah,
give more information to the AI, so that it can give you better result as well, like better suggestions.
yeah. So the more it understands your goals, the better suggestion it will give you. And also you can also ask, you can also use it as a I know many creative people, we have a bunch of different ideas, right? So we have like, oh, what if I do this? Or what if I do that? And that's also okay. So as long as you tell it, like, okay, so now I will give you a bunch of ideas that I have. It may not be very structured. What do you think of this ideas? How can I connect them together? And then it will give you, yeah, you probably you can try it and tell me what you will find.
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay. So for anybody that is watching us right now, please drop a question. If you have a question you would like me to ask us, drop a question in the comment box, and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, so let's look at AI for content creating, because I know for a lot of people that have experienced AI, maybe their first point of contact could be using AI for to create content. So I'm looking at, yes, we have that advanced knowledge, but we can still give the basic knowledge that somebody may want to learn from today. So when it comes to using AI to create content, what are the trends that you are seeing?
Mm. I think the trends that definitely that I'm seeing is definitely it's everyone's getting it, and everyone is starting to use it to create different content. Um, so in this sense, I think if you still want to do your own content, that's totally fine. I think that's, we don't want to use AI just for sake of using AI. If you want to keep the human touch, right? You are definitely welcome to do it. And it's probably, if you find it, especially if you find it better, if you find it give you a better result and find it connect with your audience better. So that's definitely, you don't want to just hop on the trends and you to getting into a formal mindset just for it. But if you do want to use AI for the content creation, and you can also explore different ways. For example, if you have a long article, right? You write a long, and then you can maybe ask it to say, "Hey, I have this long article. I want you to find like five short posts from it." And then it will be authentic because you wrote it, and it will give you different ideas around this, and then you can use it, maybe post one per week, one per day. Then this is it can help you for have plan your this week content. Or you can say, hey, the next month is we are in April, right? In the next month it's May. So I'm thinking about what I can post in May and what other uh, events that's going to happen, and then it will probably give you some ideas and you can pick from it. So you can get it. You can get a calendar that attached to that is curated to your own business.
I see. Okay, that's great. Um, let's look at the tools. What are the tools that, especially I would say, tools that maybe entrepreneurs on a budget can use, maybe low cost or even free tools,
Mm.
but that also bring out like good, authentic, either authentic contents or authentic images. Yeah. Any
Mm.
suggestions?
Yeah, so I would suggest everyone to start with the models, the mainstream models, like ChatGPT is one, and then there's uh, if you use Google Workspace, then Gemini, you have the access to the most recent Gemini model, and you can also use the Notebook LM. That is also so it can connect to your Google Drive if you have a lot of information there, so that it can learn from your own content. And so another model that is called Cloud. So it can give. I use it for creating a lot of flyers very quickly. So it can give me, understand the titles, understand what's the content, and it can like give me a pretty good flyer that within minutes. Um, so, and then some other tools that I typically just use those tools, and Perplexity is another one to do searching for you. So you can have one question, and then it can go through the content and give you the summary and also the references. But just make sure that you check all the reference, and to make sure it doesn't. So hallucination is still a problem. So it's just, so you need always to double check to make sure everything that it gives you are accurate.
I see. Okay, so you talked about the mainstream ones, ChatGPT, Gemini, and you also talked about cloud. What was the name of the last one you mentioned? Talking about.
Perplexity searching tool, the searching tool, Perplexity.
Oh, could you spell that? I'm not able to get this.
Yeah, PER Perplexity. PEL. Okay. Perplexity. PERPLEXITY.
Oh, perplexity. I see perplexity. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. That's good.
So yeah, so
That's.
my belief is many people are underusing the tools. So I
Oh.
would not recommend to, you know, even recommend to like have a lot of sign up to many many tools, but I would rather recommend you to stick with one tool and try to use it in many different ways. For example, if you want to plan for a trip, you can say, hey, for example, me, I have a 3-year old, so I can say, hey, my family want to go off the trip, and my 3-year old need to come back and take a nap. So where to so what's a best way to arrange the trip? And so it will give you some pretty good tips. And so in the last time when we want to go to wanted to went to the Muskoka, so I was saying, hey, so we are going to the cottage for a week, and what should I pack? And then it will give me like, okay, thus you need to pack this many t-shirt, and this also the stuff for plain water and everything. And then I was like, okay, I will just for use this for my packing list.
Yeah. Something interesting I've used AI for aside business is to color match. Like say, oh, I have this clothes that is this color. What color of shoe or
Oh
color of bag
yeah.
can go with it for a business meeting, for example? Especially when the color is like maybe not the very regular colors and all of that.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
that's a very creative way of using it.
You know what you said is you talked about adopting the curiosity mindset. Even
Yeah.
sometimes it's just more like, let me see what AI is going to tell me. So just having that mindset to just try it out can make you identify things that you were not thinking about, right? Or identify solutions that you did not even know was there. So yeah. Another thing to also say is that if somebody feels stuck in any way, maybe they can just try AI and see what's the solution that AI can
Yeah.
give to them. So it still boils down to having that curiosity mindset and all of that. Okay, so we talked about the tools that one can use. We've talked about the trends that people are using AI. We talked about people should bring their own creativity. Are there mistakes to avoid when using AI for content creation or for in business general? Like mistakes to avoid?
Yeah. Um, I think the biggest mistake is to just blindly use it and thinking it can replace your work or replace other people's work. And so it is a pretty good assistant, but you always need to check it, and you always need to prompt it, or give it the guidance so that it matches your brand voice, it matches the stage that you are in, and it matches the goal that you want to achieve.
I see. So yeah, the mistake is to avoid thinking that AI is going to replace your own work.
Yeah, it will not replace you, but it will accelerate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. 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 That's a good way to say it. To not replace you, but it can accelerate you.
Mm.
All right. So are there ethical considerations to be aware of when using AI for business?
One big ethical consideration is going to be its bias, because it is trained on historical internet data. So on the internet, we know there's all kinds of bias, right? So when a AI has no mind, no, it's not a intelligent entity. It is just a bunch of algorithm. It's just trying to mimic what humans doing. So when it's mimicking, and with the current way of training AI is actually to remove a lot of restrictions, because this is kind of like we just allow AI to learn everything from the internet, and then we will so there are um, researchers to spend time to try to prompt to check all the ethics and make sure it doesn't learn all some bad things on the internet, or it doesn't output very like harmful informations. But
Mm.
even it's not harmful, it could still be biased, right?
Mm.
So especially when when I work with immigrants or people from a minority group, when and then when you ask it for suggestions, sometimes you can see that you can, for example, if they talk about math and engineer stuff, it assume that this is some more of a guys area, right? It will, and that's kind of thing. So when you want to post anything, that whether it's analysis or whether it's content, you always want to check whether this is aligned with your own value.
Mm. I see. To watch out for those biases that AI have learned from the things in the internet that it may bring forward, even in your own research, right? And if you're just like blindly using AI without watching out for those biases, you also carry the biases forward. Hmm. That's that's something critical to be aware of, really. I've
Yeah.
not thought about it that way. I see. Okay. Uh, all right. You've even in your talk, you've given examples of how somebody can use AI. So right now, I'm going to look at the comments or the questions that have come in through comments, and we'll take that, and then I can just ask you the rest of the questions. Okay. So the first question I have here is from Precious, and Precious is saying, um, how can you use AI for your business planning?
Mm. Yeah, that's a good question. Um, so what um I don't know if you have if you can give some more information about which types of business planning, or it's just maybe general planning. But I can give you an example that I helped my client was have
Sure.
a client with.
Sure.
So yeah, so this is basically, so my client had a couple of months sales data in the last couple months, and so what I've been doing is to basically give the data to, and have you have already which industry you are in, and then which kind of customer you want to sell, and then those are some of the past sales data, and then you can basically post this data into AI, or maybe just I would I would say just try ChatGPT and just put this information in ChatGPT and say, hey, I have this is my sales, maybe it's like, let's say Q1 sales data, right? So based on this, what's the trends that you will see in the so for this year? Right? What could be some like scenarios that you can give me for the annual sales? So
I see.
are you hitting your goal? Are you not hitting your goal? And then it will also, when you want to do this, you can also ask it, okay, so there are there are different campaigns that I want to do this year, and if I want to uh, for many people who've been in business for years, maybe this is the time they already started to think about this Christmas campaign. But for many new people, they are like, okay, so we are still in April, so how I don't know, I didn't know that I should start to think about my inventories and how I can get all my how I can get campaigns, and whether maybe the factory I need to already
Mm.
order all my products. So
Mm.
if you ask AI, then it will give you some more information. And so you're like, okay, so I need to start, right? But the thing is, if you ask it today, right, it hasn't learned. We all know that the tariff has been recently increased. So if you ask it today, it will base the data, the projection it will give you is based on the last couple years of data,
Mm.
and it's still a generic trend. So if you want to make sure that it will take into consideration the tariff, and you need to uh, maybe say clearly that this is a new piece of information that I want you to take into consider. Or you need to say, hey, I want you to search on the internet and see if there's any major event that happened recently. so to make sure it doesn't make mistakes.
I see. Okay, that's great in terms of leveraging AI for business planning. Yeah, the person didn't give more explanation as to the type of business planning, but you did well by even using your own example. So, for anyone watching, feel free to drop your question as a comment, and we'll pick it up, and she'll be able to answer it as well. Okay, so I have another
Yeah.
question here from Moses, and Moses is asking, how do you get clients as a newbie AI strategist? That's if somebody is an AI strategist, how can the person
Mm.
get clients?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's a very, that's, every new business start from somewhere. So for me, my what I mainly was doing is I want to show my value. Especially when you got in AI, many people try to sell the same courses. Many people try to, promote the same tools. And what I think is, I want to make sure that my client can learn something that they can do on their own. So I want to empower them rather than make them depend to me. And
Hmm.
so once you build trust, and then you will start to, get referrals. You will start to get people who believe that you can solve their questions, and then they will be like, okay, so if their time are very valuable, if they know that you can solve their questions, they will not spend more time to look for some other people. And another thing is also to ask for help. So when you just started and people don't know you, and you this is actually one of my, I would say I should have been doing this earlier, is to ask for others people's help and to like, hey, I'm doing this. And all you is also there, it takes some vulnerability to say that I don't have a lot of client right now, or even I don't have client. And do you know anybody who might need this kind of service? Or do you want to do a free demo, even like free demo, to see that if my service can bring you value?
Mm.
And then once they see the value, and once you know you also need practice, right? So once you start to practice, and you will get better and better, and you will understand the market better and better, and when you will also start to bring your network in the business.
Yeah. Mm, I see. Very good advice there that you've been able to offer, practical ways for someone who is starting. Yeah, as AI strategies, but I would say even this goes for any business that someone is starting right now. Yeah. And even this also boils down to some of the things I've been sharing on my social media lately, which is, how to build authority in your industry or in your market. You know, because when you are starting out, the thing is, when you're starting out, aside that aspect of asking for help, because it's like some people can help, but people will easily want to go to somebody they feel is an expert. Already you are an expert. Like the person starting is an
Mm.
expert, right? That's why they feel comfortable wanting to
Yeah.
share this service with somebody else or to charge for it even, right? But being an expert and being perceived as an expert are two different things.
Yes.
Yes, and in fact, just when I was doing my masters, when I was doing my master's at Waterloo, one of the things, one of the research we discussed is they talk about perceived stress and actual stress, but they were using it to give example of the actual thing versus the perceived thing, and oftentimes the perceived thing wins instead of the actual thing. So it's like most people are experts, but they are not perceived as an expert.
Mm.
So then that creates problem and makes them not be able to stand out. And one of the things we're doing is also show entrepreneurs how to build authority in their field. So because sometimes we chase visibility, but visibility follows authority. So it's like you want to speak somewhere, for example, those people are looking for who is the authority that will come and speak. Well, if you show you an authority, then they want you to come and speak there. So it's like visibility follows authority,
Yeah.
and if people can build that authority to be seen as expert or as an authority in their field, it makes it easier for them to stand out, for more customers to come to them, and I'll keep saying that if somebody has a product, an entrepreneur listening to us now has a product they feel will change the life or the business of someone else, right? I feel like we have the moral obligation to make ourselves stand out so that our customers can find us, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so for in terms of a newbie AI strategies looking for customers, build making yourself to be perceived as an expert is an essential thing, even though you're already an expert.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, I also just want to add a new thing. Is there so many tools that currently are available? So if you are in the AI field, you are AI strategist. Maybe what you can do is to think about you want to, what you are working on, and what is this one, maybe a small problem that you want to have a solution that you don't have a solution, and you can say, hey, why don't I build AI solution on my own problem, right? And then in this case, you can also showcase this to your potential customers. And so this is also a way to build authority.
Nice. How would somebody go about doing that? Like, if you want to build AI tool, is that for your own problem?
Yeah, yeah. So that's yeah.
I'm
So it
interested.
it
Like, I'm
there
interested
yeah.
in listening.
Yeah, there are actually many low-code tools or no-code tools right now that you can use. So I built a new website just by prompting a tool called the Lovable. So I'm basically saying that, okay, I want to build this landing page for my future use cases, and I want this to be, helping entrepreneurs, especially small business owners, to get into the AI field and to gain knowledge and mindset to use AI and build me a landing page. And then it started to code itself on its own. And then 5 minutes later, I have a landing page. And then I was like, wow, so that's so fascinating. And then I was talking to others. I was showing that, hey, this is the web page that I built myself, and they're like, wow, this AI can do that now. It's incredible.
What's the name of the tool you talked about?
So it's right now it's just a landing page. It has a waiting list. So it is called AI First Entrepreneur, AIFirstEntrepreneur.com. So yeah, so you're welcome to get on a waiting list, and then I also want to start to build, like, very simple tools for entrepreneurs to get to use to solve very specific problem for them, so that you don't need to um, go to a very expensive consultant, or go look for a very experienced person to help you to solve problems.
Mm, that's amazing. Building AI tools to solve problems. Yeah. Okay. Then okay. No new question. What is the question you wish that I asked you, but I have not asked you?
Mm. Um, Interesting. Oh, I think one thing is about the women entrepreneurs mindset that I have learned is it's I think there's a difference between uh, mindsets in taking risks in women and men. And what I mean is, many women, they have brilliant ideas, but they have been pounding other ideas for years before they start, because all the advice they get from the field, from other people, is, okay, so 5 steps to start something, 7 tips to do this, and 10 blueprints to launch something. And then with all this one, even all the free ones, right? You can get like free kind of like workbooks everywhere. And then you look at this 30-page workbook, you are like, oh, I don't know this question. Oh, I don't know that question, so I need to study more. I need to do more of this. But I think that's a misconception. So, like, I think those are very good for people who are very risk seeking, and they are like, okay, I want to launch this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend $10,000 here to do my business. And those kind of questions get them to calm down a little bit, get them to really think. But I find that for many women business owners and many people who want women who want to start their own business, what my suggestion is, okay, of course you don't want to spend like $10,000 or even $1,000 right away. But you want to start. You want to start small. You want to go out and start to say, hey, I'm going to do this, or I'm doing this. People may ask you, who's your customer? And you may say, oh, I'm working on it, right? You don't need to say, I don't know. You can say, hey, I'm testing, I'm exploring. But the point is, you can start and then fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. What I got from there is male and women, men and women, have different taste for risk, and they're advising women to start instead of trying to figure everything out before taking the first step. That's
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. Okay. The vision for your business? My powerful life. Which, yeah. What's the vision?
Mm. So my vision is to help entrepreneurs, especially immigrant entrepreneurs, to be able to launch a successful business. And by that, I will help them to use AI to get ahead, and also help them to develop a founder's mindset.
Hmm,
So which means taking more risks, but calculated risks.
I see. That's good. That's good. Okay, let me see if I have more questions from here. A moment, please. Let's see. So, if you're watching us right now and you have a question that you like her to answer, please ask. One moment. So, what one step can an entrepreneur who is watching us right now take immediately after this show to start using AI if they've not been using it before?
Mm. Okay, so I have a very simple question. I have a very simple, so a very simple test you can try. So it's almost dinner time, at least in Toronto, it's almost dinner time. So if you don't know what you want to eat, download ChatGPT,
Mhm.
go in front of your fridge and take a picture and say, this is what I have. What should I eat?
Okay.
How can I cook? Yeah, which dishes can I cook? And see what they come up.
Mm. Yeah, I get your point. So what you're saying is maybe that entrepreneur doesn't know how to use AI in their business, but being able to use it in their personal life to ask, to get responses to very simple questions could even just show them the kind of what the tool is about or what the tool can do, and this can inspire
Yeah.
how they can start thinking of using it in business. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
tomorrow morning you can ask it, say, hey, I have this, 3 meetings and I have 2 phone calls. I also need to finish this report. What's the best way to use today's time?
Hmm. That's AI for time management.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
start small and then start to um, think about any question. Any question can be a question. If you start and then once you get more familiar with it, you will have more ideas about how to use it.
Hmm. Okay. So what AI trend that do you think is currently underrated? but has huge potential for entrepreneurs.
Mm,
Something that is a trend, but is underrated.
underrated trends.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a tricky question.
Yeah, and if you don't have anything,
Yeah,
that's totally fine.
yeah. So I think I would say so. This year, there's a lot of discussion around AI agent,
Hmm.
and so
True.
basically, AI agent is just the AI with a very good prompting or with a very good use case, and there could be different ways of connecting with AI, and there are so for the entrepreneurs, I think you may want to start to understand what so start by understanding some of the basic knowledge about AI and how AI think, and then maybe you want to start to think about how different softwares, how different use cases that you have that you can use a tool, use an AI tool, and there are multiple. Yeah, you asked me earlier to recommend a couple tools. I
Hmm.
probably this year you will find everything. There's an AI tool for everything. So maybe you can search what are the tools for this task, and then you will find something.
Mm. Yeah. Like, I've also heard of AI agents, but the question that comes to mind is, what's the difference between AI agent and the regular AI, like say ChatGPT?
Mm. Yeah, so AI agent is the main difference is the if you are using ChatGPT in the regular way, so basically you are the person who's making decisions.
Mm.
And in for the AI agent, the point is for AI to making more decisions in terms of operation, so that the human can spend more time in terms of strategy. So basically, what what you will see is probably you can say, hey, we want to have a business trip to this conference, and an agent will be able to understand, okay, so if you want to go to the conference, you need to book a ticket, you need to book a hotel, and then if it has a little bit more information on your business, it probably have a budget, and then it can come back and say, hey, those are the choices I have, and do you approve or do you approve it?
I see. So with AI agents, is like the AI is helping make decisions. The regular AI is more of, you're putting information, you're getting feedback back, and you're choosing what do you take, and then the decisions that comes from there. Like, I
Mm,
get your point. In terms of AI agents right now, like, let's say I currently use ChatGPT and I want to think of using AI agents. What tool is it? Still a type of ChatGPT, or upgrading, or like, how do I assess that?
mm. I think you can think about AI agent as kind of a similar words as like SaaS tools or platforms,
Mm,
because it's not going to be uh, one thing; it's a category. So it's like when you have probably have some HR tools for you or like bookkeeping tools,
mhm.
right? If there's an AI agent, the new generation of bookkeeping tools may be able to understand the track the receipt, and may be able to understand how the receipt is um, whether your spend is in line with your planning, and whether there's something that you need to think about and give you some advice. Maybe this is a new type of AI agent bookkeeping tool, but it's still a bookkeeping tool.
Mm, I get your point. Okay. So I know that some people have that fear that AI is coming to their industry, AI is going to revolutionize their industry, businesses are going to a service business, some service businesses will be eliminated, and you know, if aside being eliminated, some people feel their business may become outdated, right? As more people use AI, or as AI gets developed and they are left behind, right? So how can an entrepreneur stay ahead of that curve,
Mm,
and be able to innovate with AI? Like, for somebody who is having that fear that they may become obsolete.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so there's a. I think you mentioned that you were talking about perceived fear and perceived threat and real stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you also have heard that, when the fear reaction is very similar to excitement,
Mm-hmm.
and they have similar pathways and molecules that going through your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the fear, maybe you want to have say that, hey, I am excited to learn about AI, rather than you say and find out how it will impact me and how I can, leverage it, rather than let it impact me. So take a
Mm.
more positive stand, take a more proactive stand.
Mm. I get the point. It's like, okay, this is what is happening. AI is here revolutionizing
Yeah,
businesses. Instead of just being afraid that you will soon become obsolete, be excited that AI is here, and learn how you can use AI to innovate your business.
yeah,
Yeah. So instead of allowing fear to cripple you, change that to excitement, and let that push you to learn.
yeah. So if you're in business, you face risks every day,
Hmm.
right? And then the most important thing is to mitigate the risk.
Hmm.
So this, I think, if you whether you perceive it as opportunity or risk, I think this is something that you know you need to get on.
Hmm. True. True. Okay. It's been an amazing conversation on how to use AI to accelerate business growth, and thank you very much for coming to shed light on this topic. I'm sure a lot of people learned something they can walk away with, and you know use in their own life, or in their own business
Yeah.
as entrepreneurs. So, any final words or advice for entrepreneurs before we go?
Mm, yeah. Well, I think as an entrepreneur, I have learned that we need to be comfortable with uncomfortable. And so I think this is similar to all the other things, similar to AI and similar to, what's ahead of us. So when things happens, we deal with them. That,
I get you.
yeah.
Yeah, being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Okay, okay, that's a line that's easy to remember. Something for everyone to take away. All right, thank you very much, and bye to everyone that is watching. We'll see you next time. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.